get them in here. So we got some markers, we got some warm color crayons, we got some cool color crayons, and we got our color wheel. So the color wheel is to help us understand what are warm and cool colors. So you can see I have my warm colors on my color wheel. And if I move this around, whoops, my crayons are rolling off the table. I got my cool colors on the other side. Okay, so we got to kind of keep that in the back of our mind. What colors are warm and what colors are cool? Okay,
Yeah.
so I'm going to mute some of you. There we go. So the picture I'm showing you on my screen right now is what was on Class Dojo, and there was some examples there. And you can see there's hearts in cool colors. Like here's a cool color heart up at the top. There's a blue and green and purple one. And then there's some warm color hearts, and there's one next to it. So when you do your coloring today, you need to make a decision. Is my heart going to be just warm colors, or is my heart just going to be cool colors? Okay, it can be either one. That's your choice as an artist. What was your question?
Can we mix both of the
No,
warm colors and the cool colors into one heart?
no. And the reason is, you notice all these lines that have been drawn on here? If we
Yeah.
mix up our colors, our warms and cool colors, we're not going to be able to tell where our heart is and where the background is. Okay, so that's why we're going to separate the two. One is going to be warm and one is going to be cool. And that way your heart will show up in your drawing.
Oh, okay.
Okay. Now, another thing I wanted to show you on this artwork is some lines go straight up and down and left and right. Some lines go all different directions. Some lines could be even zigzags and curves and all that. Okay, so here's some other ones. You can see the lines can go different directions or they can go curvy directions. But our heart has to be a heart. Okay, so the first thing we're going to do is we're going to make our heart, and then we're going to make those lines. Okay, you guys ready to get started on this? And I'm going to take my marker, and it doesn't matter what color marker you use. And for those of you who are kind of scary about using markers on paper, you can easily do this with a pencil first and then trace the line. Okay, because we're going to make our heart. And I want to show you kind of a trick in making the heart. Okay, so you can see there's one at the bottom, not all the way at the bottom, and then I got a little bit more space up on top. Okay, and we're just going to make, are we good? Yeah, so we're going to make one side of the heart, which is a curved line, right? So
Yep.
I'm just going to make a curved line and come down to that point. Okay, that's half of a heart.
Oh my goodness,
Okay,
it looks
so
terrible.
I went up, and then I went down to that point. Okay, I went up to make that curve, and then I came down to that point. All right, and if you're having a hard time with a marker, you can always do it with a pencil first, and then you can erase and trace and do whatever you need to do. Now, I'm sure some of you already know there's the other half of the heart, right? And that is just a curve on the other side going down to that point. Okay, so that's our goal right now. We want to make a heart between those 2 points. Now, if someone showed you how a different way to draw a heart, you can do it that way. Perfect, Jacob. You can make your heart any way you want. The only thing I want you to do is make sure it's nice and big. So the next thing we're going to do, everyone ready to see the next step? In that picture, if you remember, there was all those different lines and they went different directions, right? Okay, so that's what we're going to be doing next, right? So if you have a ruler, you could use your ruler and make real perfect straight lines. Or I know my little kindergartners and first graders learned about zigzagged lines and wavy lines and all that. They can make those kind of lines. You can even make a swirly line. But here's the rule. Okay, everyone ready for the rule? Here's the rule. You have to go from one side of the paper to the other side of the paper. Or you have to go from the top down to the bottom. Okay? So that's the only rule is you have to go all the way from one side to the other side. So let me show you. If I pretended and I put a dot here, and I pretended and I put a dot here, we all know how to play connect the dots, right? I want to connect the dots, and I can make a zigzagged line or a wavy line and go all the way down there. And you're like, Miss Clark, I'm scribbling over my heart. That's okay, because remember, that's going to be warm or cool colors, and the other side is going to be the other ones, and we'll see it. So my little ones, if you want to put a dot on each side, that might help you in knowing where you're going to be drawing your line. River, we want to make these lines with a marker, not with a pencil, because we need to see them. Okay?
I can just go over there with the
And
marker.
you can make a straight line, just straight lines, no curvy lines, no zigzagged lines. They could be just straight, like the sample I showed you. It doesn't matter. Now I could do the same thing from top to bottom. I could just make a straight line from top to bottom. I might go over here and say, there are my two dots. I'm just going to make a straight line. Okay, so it kind of looks like we're scribbling all over our work of art, but that's okay. Okay, so maybe say, if I put 4 lines going top to bottom and 4 lines going left to right, that's like 8 lines, right? Because 4 plus 4 is 8. So now you got a mess. Okay, so now this comes the easy part. We get to color.
I'm not
okay?
ready.
So all we're going to do is color in our heart. We're not doing any of the background. We're just doing our heart. And you have to pick. Are you going to do warm colors or cool colors? You only can do one or the other. So I'm going to make my heart warm colors. And if you
I'm
notice,
mine warm colors too. I am.
if you notice, I got more than one color.
I'm
Okay?
doing cool colors.
You can do cool colors there. It's up to you. But those are the only ones we're using in the heart. Now, here's the trick. Everyone ready to know what the trick is? We don't want to put the same colors next to each other in the shapes we made. So I'm just going to do a little one, a little shape so you can see. So just watch for a second as I color. I'm going to make this one red. And then I don't want to put red next to it. So then I'm going to make this shape orange. Okay? And I don't want to put orange next to orange. So then I may make this one a darker orange because I got lots of different color oranges. Okay? So we don't want to put the same colors next to each other. Okay? So now what I want you to do is just color in your heart. There you go. Just color. And all we're doing is staying inside your heart. Don't do the background yet. Just do the heart. And you can skip around. That's okay, but let's focus on our heart. And let's focus on just doing the warm or cool colors, whatever you chose. That's the same color. That's the same color. Well, I can put this one here. Sometimes you got to kind of test it out to see where you can put that color or where you haven't used it, especially if you got lots of different shades. I got lots of different shades of orange for some reason. I don't really have a red. I don't know why, but can't put it there, can't put it there. It's kind of like a puzzle. Where can I put
Reds are kind of hard to find with me too. Whenever I find a red, I try coloring with it. It turns into an orange. Whenever I try coloring with another one, it turns into a pink.
Yeah,
kind of
still kind of warm though, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's kind of in between.
Right. That's the same color. That's the same color. Can't put that there. Can't put it there. I think I can put it here. Yep, I can put it there. I guess I can use my yellow. I haven't used that at all. I'll show you the next part. The next part is taking those cool colors, and now you're going to take the opposite of whatever you have. In this case, mine is cool. And now I'm going to color the background. And again, I don't want to put the same colors next to each other. Okay, so there's one kind of blue. So now I'm going to get a different color blue. I'm going to put it somewhere else. So now we're using cool colors or warm colors, the opposite of whatever your heart is, and you're coloring in the background. I guess it's purple I haven't used yet. Purples are kind of tricky. Sometimes they go red, so you got to make sure you have a
Hey,
dark
I finished
purple.
my heart. What do you think?
Oh, that looks good, Jacob. Very nice. Very nice. Okay. And as you keep the cool colors on the outside, or the opposite of whatever you put on the inside, then you'll notice your heart starts showing up. So I didn't mind that we used all these different lines and kind of, I'm not going to call it scribbles because they were planned, but we put all these lines over our drawing to break it up into these unique shapes, right? We got shapes that we can't even give names to. I guess blue is what I'm missing. Here.